gotta get my ass in gear. Uh-oh. That's not what I wanted to see. This is what I want to see. Okay. I got that there. I got this here. Am I up? There. Okay, I am up. Okay, and I also need to put my headphones in. And I gotta do things. Lots of things. Lots of things. Okay, move this. This. Interesting how the menu is the same as the cabin. Actually, is it the same? Wasn't it last time it was the courtroom? Alright, I gotta put my headphones in. I gotta get my stuff going. Alright. Mail, audio cord here. I'm gonna get back to this, as I said I would. There we go. Okay, now I can only hear it in my headphones. Showered. I had something to eat. Gotta get back to this. I got my water. I'm good to go. Oh man, steamboat stowaway. I'm a steamboat stowaway. So, what did we do last time? Last time, we got put in handcuffs on a steamboat. Last time we met Sherlock Holmes, and we figured out, or just discovered, that Asogi Kazuma, Naruhodo's best friend, has been killed. Just like that. No questions asked, except there are a lot of questions asked, but not as many as to get to the point. In any case, we met a new person. Actually, we met several people. We got several pieces of evidence. We managed to meet Osanaga, this guy, Biff Stroganov. A real wall of a man, a senior member of the Russian crew who's in charge of the security around the first-class cabin. Grimsby Roylat, an older Russian gentleman traveling on the ship. He's staying in the first-class cabin next to Kazuma's. And that's the thing. In the last episode, we figured out that there must have been a clue in the vent connecting the rooms. And this guy is in the room next to the cabin. So what are we gonna find out? I don't know. We're gonna find out things. Last night. Mr. Roulette, we'd like to talk to you about something. No. Oh. I do not want to talk. Leave my cabin now. It's going terribly. We're not gonna get anywhere here. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Perhaps that great detective could get somewhere with Mr. Roulette. Somehow he's sitting in the wardrobe. No questions asked. Really? Are you seriously gonna... First class cabin? Are you gonna... Mr. Roulette, I'd like to talk to you about something. I don't know what to talk. Leave my cabin now. So basically, every question I ask... Any question I ask is gonna resort to him, Mr. Roulette, not answering any question. Alright, Sholmes! Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. How late am I? Not late. You are on time. No worries. You're good to go. You're on time. Alright. You know, only address me as Sholmes. Nice! That's what I just did. Besides, he joined in the first 4 minutes. So that's actually good. I'll prove it. It's, right here. So, I just started like 4 minutes ago. Literally 4:20. So, you're actually on time. Don't worry. You got this. You're good. I can see what you're saying. That's just what I... That's just what I did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed. I was so contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe wall, waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection and service. Really? Oh! And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no, actually. You're spot on. For once. Because he's been frickin' wrong so much in the last episode. Somehow he got something right. For once! Observe closely. Our Russian host in its cabin, Mr. Roulette, is clearly trying to hide something. And you know it is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. This seems like a 2002 game, and it's cool since I like retro games. It's not 2002. This came out, I think, 2019, so it's only a couple of years old. Even though the actual series came out in, like, 2001. So, The Great Ace Attorney... This game, even though it's older, this series, it's still an Ace Attorney series. It's like a prequel to the main series, The Great Ace Attorney. It takes place way before Phoenix Wright. But we're actually getting the normal names, Naruhado. I'm actually glad we have the Japanese names. Oh, okay. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right! Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Would I want to see another person emotionally react in a way that will cause them to break down? Yes! Yes, I do! Oh, yes! Please! Oh, God. Well, then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction... Why do you have so many greats? Why did it need... You know what, never mind. Great deduction to the case. What? Could this man be more of a hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time, it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of what the hell is Russianness? Or Russian on account of his dubiousness? Never mind. I really don't think either of those things should be according to you. Or anyone. That's right. And Mr. Sholmes? I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. Shush! I must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you peering at my face like that? Is he really peering at his face? Oh, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind just now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roulette, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions, just like the previous episode. What? What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Really? Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? Huh? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at the very nonetheless, in the midst of committing the most grievous crime. Which is... Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Ah! Oh, Naruhado-san, I never mentioned I witnessed one of Mr. Sholmes' great deductions with my own eyes. That's not a deduction. That's an assumption. This is an oops. Ah, why? Oops! I oopsed it. Alright. That was a great deduction. Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. No, he can't. What? What ineffable twaddle! Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. And now I have experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. That's not a deduction. That's like, oh, you're holding scissors! You must be the villain! You're holding a knife! You must be the villain! You're acting suspiciously! You must be the villain! It's like a dream come true. No. 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 I can hardly believe it, but all the color is drained from Mr. Roulette's face. Really? I think there's still color left. It looks like somehow both Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How? It didn't work in the previous episode on Nanahado, but somehow it works here? How? How could you? How could I possibly know such things? You wish to say? Very well then. I shall elucidate. I shall explain how that I arrived at the pair of conclusions. So I cordially invite you to on a journey of logical discovery. Let's board the train of reasoning. Put it plainly, let us work through my deductions together. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Old man's identity. The dubious looking Russian, Mr. Roulette, obviously what catches the eye in the first place. Some tells me I'm gonna be saving a lot. Some tells me I'm gonna need to get ready. Because I gotta put some thought process in there. What catches the eye in the first place? The beard, the nose, the shears. The shears? There's the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Or the paper in your pockets. Now, what could possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring at us in the face. You are on the verge of using his shears to cut away the copious beard. You sport. Now moving on. The question that then begged is, why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roulette? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular, the fascinating front-page article. Which you have read also, Mr. Roulette. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals their true identity is the article about the revolutionary. The fact that you gave a question mark says you're not sure about that part. But I think Mr. Sholmes is right about one thing. That let's actually take a step back. That is the same possible newspaper that we have right here. So the article about the revolutionary. So that's actually right here. It's interesting how Mr. Roulette is confused about this article. But it is the same article. But if we look on the other side of the article, then we have this part right here. So it's interesting we have this here. So according to what Mr. Sholmes told us before, this article is about a dancer from Russian ballet, a company who has disappeared for some reason. Yes, a prima ballerina called Nicolina Pavlova. She went missing from her dressing room whilst the company was performing in Shanghai. And the tiara she was wearing at the time appears to be a very valuable piece of jewelry. What was it? 20,000 rubles? Yes, I have no idea how much that really is, but I feel sure you begin to change buying all the... Wait, what? I feel sure you'd be given change from that amount even after buying all the cakes in the cake shop. Her imagination's really running away with her. And now, in order to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara, the company has requested international assistance at all ports of the ceilings. So, I think this article is important because it's not about the revolutionary. It's about this. So, let me take another step back. In the previous episode, when our characters went into the room, we heard a woman scream. But before getting into the room, we didn't find a woman. We found Mr. Roylott. So, where did the woman's scream come from? And why is he using the shears? I think... In translation, the headline reads, Revolutionary Villain. Borshchev flees Russia via Shanghai. Villain? As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fierce Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik. I don't think so. Because he was confused at the fact that he was mentioned, that the idea of a revolutionary was even mentioned. Not that I've heard of you myself. You understand? A revolutionary on the run. Topic 2. Wrongdoing. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are at this very moment on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there. Oh yes, Mr. Roylott. What? Taken unawareness, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. Maybe? The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. It's the traveling case. Why is there another question mark there? It is time, I think, the case be opened and contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation, a young lady, perhaps, one slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd! And what, pray, would be the identity of this young lady in the traveling case? Interesting how there's an exclamation mark there. Anime! Sort of. The young lady in the traveling case. It's interesting Sholmes said, young lady in a traveling case. When there was an exclamation mark. We are not well suited to the life of a crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes! The reason you refuse to open the traveling case can be equally found on the pages of the newspaper. For there's another, most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back of the page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us but to one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction! And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nicolina Pavlova. Kidnapping of young ballerina. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma, Elemensky. No. I feel like there's something off about this. I really feel like there's something off. I don't know, like... There's something off about it. Susato-san, that wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing about so much, was it? Well, the stories are full of Sholm's brilliant deductions, you know? But that did seem a little different somehow. How? Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, can you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all, go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but... These two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall a discussion earlier. And at the time, I believe I told you. That a man is a revolutionary who will be able to revolutionize his own... Nobody revolutionizes their appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Miss Rilla does look more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing. The part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small, clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child in that case, even if you pushed really hard. That doesn't sound right, but okay. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't... No, how could I? Well, if she's 15, then 10-year-olds worth of her will be poking out of the case. Some years ago, I read something impertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain litheness in the bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely simplicity itself to contort oneself in confines of that small case. I don't think we're dealing with a contortionist. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. This whole thing is turning into a circus. Mr. Naruto, something has occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter almost instantly. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Your idea maybe a little off itself, Miss Susato. It's just one or two keywords in his deduction that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactically switch them for alternatives. What do you think? Switch them keywords in his deductions? Yes, but very tactfully. I feel sure if we could do that, we'd unlock the true genius of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction. Precisely the thought was going through my own mind. This man is a lot of work. At times I wonder how anyone puts up with me. I kind of wonder the same. It's not that funny. And you, my good fellow. Sorry. Take a moment to look at your wrists. My wrists. What? How? Where are the handcuffs? Huh? How? How did... I felt that may hinder your ability to follow me in our dance of deduction. I don't believe it. Mr. Sholmes, you are a marvel. How? When? What? Where? Then don't worry, I shall restore the shackles to your wrists when we are finished. Aw, I'm not worried. In fact, I'd rather stay like this. So, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh great, now I get to join in. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Well, there's any revolutionary on the run. So I'm gonna be making some corrections here. Obviously, what catches the eye on the first glance? Oops! Dang it. 1 second. There's spat on the floor again! Aim. Alright, here we go. Now we're gonna be fixing this up. So the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roulette, obviously what catches the eye in the first place is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Clearly that was right. Now we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You are on the verge of using shears to cut away the copious beard used for it. I'm not sure. Would you really use shears like that to cut off a beard? I'm pretty sure you'd shave it off. But I doubt that's something I'll ever have to worry about. It doesn't quite sit right with me, though. This doesn't seem to be sitting right with Mr. Roylott either. Which means, I suppose, that the deduction is wrong. Let's try to switch a keyword here in Naruto-san and see if it helps matter. Alright, but how? I think we should start by taking a long, hard look at the Mr. Roylott. I wonder if it's really his beard he intended to use the shears on. If it's not the beard, then what? Exactly! If we do manage to find something that fit the sense of Mr. Sholm's deduction better, then what? I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, Naruto-san. Why am I the one to do something about this? If it's not the beard, then what? Well, anyway, let's see if there's anything we can even use to switch around in the last sentence. What exactly was Mr. Roylott really going to use those enormous shears for? You're on the verge of shear the Koei. Knock the copious beard. The hat? It's a very thick hat, isn't it? Ah, that's a secret you see, Naruto-san, don't you know? Secret? What? Well, before I left Japan, I took some time to study various foreign countries. Russia is a land of unimaginable cold, and a thick hat is a secret to keeping warm. Without one, I read your brain would freeze. But why? That's just one of the many fascinating snippets of information, oh mother, not Russia. I think maybe you picked the wrong book here. Okay, what? Golden locks? What? Golden locks. This Russian has golden locks. Yes! What? That? You are on the verge of using the shears to cut away the golden locks you sport. Indeed. This Russian is a blonde? Really? You're gonna cut away the blonde hair behind you. You haven't identified the precise detail I was intending to expose. Such lush golden hair certainly does not fit the old man. You're not a man at all. You're a woman, and judging from the length of the sheen of your hair, one still very much in her youth. Oh no! So Mr. Roylott is a woman? If only I managed to cut off my hair, no one would have suspected. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of the magnificent locks? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity. Article about the revolutionary. You're confused about that. Well, that was a shock. I had no idea the old man really was a young woman in disguise, did you? What? Why are you staring at me like that? Yes, it was a surprise, Naruto-san. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Yes. Sorry? You look like you're in your element as you dance around the room deducting the facts with Mr. Sholmes. I'm just doing what we agreed. I'm not having fun or anything. This is strictly business, not strictly Yes, I understand. Say no more. Well, anyway, let's focus on this next part of Mr. Sholmes' deduction, shall we? The evidence that he's picked out doesn't fit the facts all now. No, that's true, given that Mr. Rella is actually a woman. Exactly. He, or rather she, can't possibly be this merciless revolutionary. I suppose it's because the deduction as a whole has taken a different direction now. Yes. Let's search the evidence for something else. Something that fits the facts with now, as we now understand them. For some reason, this woman needed to try to hide her true identity. I feel as though I've either read or heard about a young woman in a situation like that recently. Alright, I'll do my best. Evidence that reveals true identity is this. So, the woman we see here is a ballerina. Is that what this is? Article about the ballerina. Here! Correction. The evidence that reveals her true identity is, of course, the article about the ballerina. That's right, you've hit the nail on the head. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. It would appear we are finally able to address you by your true name. Yes, because your true identity is that of the Novovich ballerina, prima ballerina. Miss Nicolina Pavlova. Ah! Pavlova. Miss Pavlova, I assume. You're right. My real name is Nicolina Pavlova. Nina. But please, I beg you, don't tell anyone. Woman's identity. A ballerina on the run. Solved! Wrongdoing, kidnapping of a young ballerina. Can that really be the case? Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime, over there, is over there to her left. Oh yes, Miss Pavlova. Taken unawares, people have their propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. Ah, and I assure you, the eyes speak so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the fortuitous glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, the traveling case. It's not the traveling case. The woman is a ballerina, and she's right in front of our eyes. So clearly she can't be inside the traveling case as well. No, that's right. She wasn't abducted at all. In which case, what is the crime this young woman is apparently committing? I can see I'm gonna have to step in and fix the great detective's mistake again. You seem to look pleased, Miss Naruhito-san. Do you like the idea of another chance to dance around with Mr. Sholmes? Maybe? Stop it. Anyway, there must be something else here that shows what this woman is up to. Okay, there's a tiara. It's proof of the crime sits tiara. It's not the traveling case, it's the tiara. But is that the only thing that I can look at? So it's the tiara. Because it's worth a lot of money. So the whole thing is not based on abduction. It's theft. So, here! Proof of your crime is surely this tiara. Ah! I believe this tiara is worn on stage by dancers in the Novovich Ballet, is it not? That's the very same tiara in the article Indeed, it would appear that to be identical to the tiara pictured in this very newspaper article. And if the reporting is to be believed, it is an item worth 20,000 rubles. In summary, the crime you have committed is theft. Oh no. Yes, you left your ballet troupe unlawfully taking their precious tiara with you. Ah! I have no one, no family, no friends. I am all alone, and I need money. But I did not steal the tiara. It was a present from, how do you say, an Earl of Prussia. It belongs to me! This girl is only 15 years old, and she's run away all by herself. She must have been extremely lonely. Really? Alright, I will tell you everything. There's no point to hiding it anymore. And now, come, let us not be hasty. What? There remains one unsolved mystery about you. Mystery? Well, what do you mean? You have staunchly refused to open the traveling case of your present. It is reasonable to conclude, therefore, that there exists some reason why you wish to have it remain closed. Is that not so, Miss Pavlova? My dear girl, there's no sense in playing games with me. Nothing escapes my attention. Indeed, I have a very good idea of the contents of your case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. I don't know what he's talking about, but it is the right answer. You have an idea of what it is. Even though you haven't. I have a very good idea of the contents of the case, even before I have ever laid eyes on them. Dear me, we are not well suited to this life of crime, are we? You careless crew devoted betrayed you. Once again, we need only follow your fortuitous glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason why you refused to open the case is written on the books on the shelves. He's completely changed tack with this deduction now. I think Mr. Sholmes is adapting his logic to changing circumstances, don't you? Maybe. But why has he suddenly brought the bookshelf into all this? It's just a wild guess, surely. Oh, do you think so? Well, it doesn't seem like that reason why this young woman doesn't want to open her case. Why would have been written down in the book that doesn't even belong to her? Yes, that's true, but still, the Pavlova certainly did cast her eyes in that direction. I noticed it myself. There has to be another reason why she wouldn't open her case. And it must be somewhere in the same area, if that's where her gaze is involuntarily drawn. I agree. That's the only answer. Whatever she has hidden inside that case should be revealed by following her gaze in the direction of the bookcase. Rules of passage. Cabin door. It's not the books on the shelf. The small picture, no. But what are we looking at? Rules of passage. It's not the books on the shelf. I don't know. There's two options I could go with. Stop and think about this for a second. Let's look at this. There are rules of passage for travel aboard this Hesperia. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. I think it has a lot to do with this. Because the suitcase did move on its own. She's keeping some kind of pet in that case. So, there's exactly the same notice in her cabin too. I wonder what happens if you break the rules. Oh dear, I'm sure the punishment will be severe, Naruto-san. You'll probably be left out to drift in the freezing cold ocean, or shut inside a tiny wardrobe for days on end. So I've actually been serving time for weeks now, have I? It has to do with the rules of passage. Here! Yes, the reason why you refuse to open your case is written with the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in the cabin. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Inside the case of yours is something forbidden from the carriage on this vessel. That is the real reason why you refuse to open it, thus revealing its contents. It can't be a weapon, as we see the trunk wobbles from time to time, but no weapon or other dangerous items move on its own accord. Which leaves us but one possibility, Miss Pavlova. Inside your traveling case is a pet. This is the last item enlisted in the forbidden vessel's rules of passage. A pet! Ah! Is it a doggy or cat? One or the other. Maybe not. Could be something else. Who knows? Kidnapping of young ballerina. Possession of a prohibited animal. Salt. There we go. Deduction complete. Elementary. So clearly, you aren't who you said you were. No, I'm not Grimsby or Lot. My real name is Nicolina Pavlova. Everything you said was correct. You absconded during one of our ballet company's performances in order to escape our homeland. Later that same night, you stole aboard this vessel, which couldn't have been easy. The Borea is a huge steamship with a fast crew. Could she really have snuck on board without being noticed? In order to obscure your true identity, you somewhat recklessly took the guise of an old gentleman, and you attended to several links with your past by severing your long hair. Yet to a woman, hair is no trifling matter. My personal recommendation is to leave well alone. So, if it was just you, about to cut off your own hair, who was it that let out the scream we heard from outside the cabin? That variable tinkling of a bell? Well, none other than this young lady, naturally. More like a full set of pipes, if you ask me. I was so scared when I ran away in Shanghai. I was sure they would come looking for me. That's why I decided to, how do you say, disgust myself so no one would recognize me. Disgust? I'm sure you meant the word disguise, but I'm sure it's hard for her to come up with a word. As a result, you transform yourself into that questionable man, I see. I put on the fur hat and fake beard. Then just before you came in here, I saw that newspaper. Right on the page, there was a picture of me. I was so frightened, I couldn't stop from screaming. I knew that if I didn't change my appearance completely, they would find me. So I decided to cut off all my hair as fastly as possible. So I picked up the scissors in my hand, and at that precise moment, we walked in through the annoyingly unlocked cabin door. Annoyingly? Because you wanted to break it down. Things happen like that sometimes, don't they? Things do indeed happen like that, from time to time. Are those two even talking about the same thing? There's just one more thing I'd like to know. What exactly do you have inside your traveling case? What pen is it? You're right, it is my dear friend inside. My only friend in the whole world. Please, don't tell anyone. If the captain finds out, if you say it to any of the crew, your secret is safe with us, I assure you. But in return, you must tell us, in as much detail as you can muster, about the events of last night. Yes, all right. I'll tell you. Well, Mr. Narahado? Wasn't it something Mr. Sholmes' great deduction? Wasn't it something Mr. Sholmes' great deduction? It was off, and I had to point it in the right direction. In the right direction. Okay. Also, I gotta use washroom, so we got to take a break. So I'll take this, mute that, have a bear right back, and then I will bear right back. Okay, I am back. Emine, hear me back. Hi. 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 Alright, I'm back. I'm gonna turn the volume back on. Now I'm gonna put my headphones on to actually hear it. Alright, oh man, my face is raw. Maybe I'm showering too much. Alright, wasn't it something... It was certainly something, yes. It's just not entirely I'm just not entirely sure what. But at least Miss Pavlova has agreed to tell us what she knows. That's incredible. Indeed, it is incredible. I had to point you in the right direction. Ah, and one more thing. Oh, yes? What? Observe your wrists. You put the shackles back on, didn't you? Yeah. Ah! Your hands are cuffed again. What? But how? True to my word, I have restored your shackles. Grr. When? And why? And how? Even though it's not written there, why not? Alright. Yep. Alright. Oops. Yo. Yeah. Also, live streaming. Give me a second, I'm gonna check this and that. Who said what? Is 5 or 5 and... Okay. And check you. Man, meh. Okay. Alright. Where were we? Okay, here we are. Wait, why is this here? Alright. There's still a shadow of guilt cast over you, Mr. Narahado. I'm sorry to say, it can't be helped at the moment. Or as they say in Japan, shogunite. Ha! Can it? Really? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Pavlova has to say. I can't go on not knowing. I have to find out what the speckled band that Kazuma-sama wrote about this diary really was. Alright. Let's have a little tack. What happened last night? Did you know that someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh. That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest? Perhaps its steam engine exploded, and yet somehow we're still on course? Perhaps everyone on board would have not noticed if that happened? Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry? But all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. Running away. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? Yeah. The Novovich Ballet. Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I'll start a new life. You wish to forget a challenging proposition. When you have a striking terror's reminder that the terror is mine, I needed to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water. We must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, they would have killed me. So you ran away to protect yourself. Yes, and the crew of the ship, they have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates the most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Nadahado? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation to what conundrum. I'm not sure, but... What conundrum? Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose you a riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Beria stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it, of course. Now, how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? Now that I think about it, the crewmen outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of the cabin came aboard. That is none of your business. Yes, you're right. He did seem to be hiding something. She came aboard somehow. And Biff Stroganoff somehow knows. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry? What was that? It is how the Russian newspapers described one of her performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel. Why? Considering English isn't your mother tongue, the description is very vivid. Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist the touch of a dramatic. It seems that Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to detection. Words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, in fact. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. The friend. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board, according to the rules of passage. Oh, please, don't tell. Don't tell any of the crew. If they found out, my precious. And the burly Russians would bestir themselves in the unison to throw you in a case overboard, no doubt. Ah! So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? Is it a cat? Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Ha! You credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits there then? You may as well ask. I have no idea. Ha! You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young ballerina friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken! Why? Why? Really? Considering the benefits, a rousing wake-up call, daily fresh eggs, and when the adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of subsistence. So you'd eat your friends? I'll remember that. Nope, it's a cat, isn't it? Well, it would appear this friend's identity is closely guarded secret not to be revealed. Ahahahaha! She obviously doesn't quite trust us yet. There's something I should like to show... There's something I should like to show her, I think. Maybe she might be able to shed some light on it. Okay. What could I show that might... The idea of the speckled bands... Okay, what could I show? Maybe Kazuma's diary? This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary. Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads... 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. It looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? I don't understand. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator you mentioned joins this cabin, you see. It's up there in the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh! Miss Pavlova, has something heard you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned need something new? Or the whistling sound, perhaps? No. I don't know anything. Oh. That's a bit of a general answer for a specific question. Alright, who is it? Excuse me, Mr. Roulette. Yes, what? Wow, she's fast! Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please. Alright, I will come now. What? You must leave. No. Oh no, it's fine. Don't mind us. Yes, please don't worry yourself, Mr. Roulette. Get out! The passenger said out! Or do you want me to throw you out? Ah! It looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin until later. What a pity. It's a freaking cat in that case, isn't it? Oh well. So we lost our chance. Having still not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. Really? To be continued. Oh, man. I would really like to know. Alright. Should I change the title of the live stream? I should change the title of the live stream. Steam mode's still away. Russian trap. There we go. I think that fits perfectly. Alright, should I end here and hit the sacrally? would like to end here and hit the sack early. Mr. Roland's cabin. Overwrite. Okay, investigation part 2. I really want to continue this, but I got work tomorrow for the next couple days. I gotta get up. I gotta hit the sack early. I gotta get ready for tomorrow. I got work for the next couple days. I don't know if... Wait, am I off on Monday? I don't know. In any case, I gotta sleep. I know it's been an hour through, but I gotta get as much as I could done. I wanted at least an hour in this, and I'm glad I did. I'm actually enjoying this a lot. It's interesting how we have a new mechanic. Is it really new? Maybe the whole deduction scene was interesting. And some part of me knew Mr. Roylott was a woman, but the whole... I had to correct the whole deduction part. But in any case, I gotta get going. I will definitely come back to this tomorrow and maybe do it longer. I don't know. It depends. How much I can get from coming to work, coming back from work, having something to eat, showering, and then doing a live stream. Alright? I gotta get going. I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay? Alright, take care.